Okay, so today we're going to do notes 9.5. We're going to be able to factor a quadratic trinomial. So we're going to learn what that is. Our learning target is I can recognize and factor quadratic expressions completely. It's called the unfoil or AC method. So a little bit of review. We were given two binomials before. We could use the table method or FOIL. I'm going to use FOIL. We would do our first term. X times x is x squared. Our outside terms, x times 5 is 5x. Our inside terms, 2 times x is positive 2x. Our last terms, 2 times 5 is a positive 10. I'm going to combine my like terms in the middle, and I get my simplified expression of x squared plus 7x plus 10. So we had two factors that we multiplied these two binomials together to get this simplified expression. Let's try these. First, outside, inside, last. So x squared minus 2x, inside term minus 4x, plus 8. I'm going to combine my like terms in the middle, x squared minus 6x plus 8. So that's just a little review. This unit is about, now we're not going to give you these two things, we're going to give you this, and you have to come up with these. So we're going to give you a quadratic trinomial. Three terms, it's trinomial, it's a quadratic because it's squared. And you have to come up with the factors. So we're just going to work backwards. A couple definitions. So factoring a quadratic trinomial, x squared plus bx plus c, that's the general form with a leading coefficient of 1. This is going to become important because we're going to learn how to do it without that, but in front of that x squared is a little 1, so we can use this method right here. So x squared plus bx plus c, factors of that would be x plus p times x plus q, provided that p plus q equals b, and provided that p times q equals c. So what does all that mean? It just means it's going to be factors of c that add up to b. Factors of c, two numbers that multiply to c that add up to b. Same two numbers. The key, in our last section we did GCF. You have to do GCF first or else this method will not work, and neither will all the other methods that we teach. GCF, greatest common factor first. So, steps. We're going to find the factors of the constant term, that C term, that add up to the middle term. We're going to use those factors to write the binomial factors. Then we're going to check using FOIL. So let's do an example. So, number 3, n squared minus 5n plus 6. I know that I'm going to have an n here and an n here to get that n squared. So up here I had an x squared. I know there was an x and an x there to give me that x squared. That's where I'm getting the n's from. I'm going to use something called a product sum chart, a T chart some teachers call it. So it looks like a T. We're going to write the product here and the sum here. And when we're talking about the product, we're talking find the factors of the constant term. Which one's the constant term? The 6. So the C value, the constant term goes here. Product, the factors of 6 that add to the middle term. The middle term is the B, so it's negative 5. So we have to find factors of 6. What numbers multiply to 6? 1 and 6. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 plus 6, that's not negative 5. That doesn't work. 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 plus 3 is a positive 5. Getting close. What about negative 2 times negative 3? Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. Negative 2 plus negative 3 is a negative 5. And those are our factors. And we put them in right here. Negative minus 2 minus 3. And that's our answer. But we're going to check it to make sure we did it correct. So to check it, you want to use your table method. I'm going to use FOIL. So, first, n squared. Outside, negative 3. Inside, negative 2n. That was negative 3n. Last, a positive 6. I'm going to combine my like terms. I get n squared minus 5n plus 6. Let's move that up. That checks with up here. So these are my factors. I did all the work correct. So let's try number 4. N squared plus 5n plus 6. Really similar, but it's plus 5n, not minus. Okay, so let's see how that works out. Well, I know my factors are going to be n and n. I'm going to use my product sum chart. So the product and the sum. The product is the factors of 6, that's C value, that goes here. The sum is the 5. They got to add up to that B value. So when they say a product sum chart, T chart, that's what we mean. So factors of 6. 1 times 6. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 plus 6, well, that's not 5, it's 7. 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. So that works. Factors of 6 of the constant term that add to the middle term. Those are my factors. I'm going to put them in my binomials. I create my 2 binomials. I'm going to double check it. N plus 2 times n plus 3. We get n squared plus 3n first, outside, inside, plus 2n, and the last, plus 6. Combine my like terms, n squared plus 5n plus 6. This is the same as that. It checks, meaning these are my factors. I factored this and got this. And if I FOIL this back out, I got that back. So I know it's the right answer. Alright. So, let's do number 5. Number 5, I got n squared plus 5n minus 6. N and n. I'm going to start every time like this. Whatever my variable is, I'm going to put there, because I know I need to get that to be an n squared. I'm going to use my product sum chart. Maybe I don't write the p and the s now. I'm getting to be good at this. So, it's factors of negative 6 that add to the b value, 5. So factors of the last number that add to the middle number. Last number goes first, the middle number goes here. So, 1 times a negative 6. 1 times negative 6 is negative 6. 1 plus negative 6 is negative 5. That doesn't work. What about a negative 1 and a positive 6? Negative 1 times 6 is negative 6. Negative 1 plus 6, that equals 5. So when they're negatives, I know I can combine them. One of these numbers has to be negative, so I can check each one. Positive 1 times negative 6 is negative 6, or negative 1 times positive 6 is negative 6. So these are my factors. I put them in up here. I'm going to double check. N minus 1, n plus 6. I get n squared plus 6n minus a single n minus 6. I'm going to combine my like terms. I get n squared plus 5n minus 6. So up here I did FOIL. First, outside, inside, last. That's how I got that. Combine my like terms. This is the same as that. That checks, meaning that's the factors. Let's try number 6. I know I'm going to have an x and an x. I'm going to use my product sum chart, my T chart. So factors of negative 24 that add to the middle term, negative 5. So 24, if I get stuck, we gave you this chart right here. So there's that chart. Here's factors of 24. It's not negative 24, but I can make it negative 24 by making one of these negative. So, what if I had 1 and 24? If either one of them was negative and the other was positive, it would give me negative 24. But if I added either one together, if I added negative 1 and positive 24, I don't get negative 5. If I added positive 1 and a negative 24, I do not get negative 5. So that doesn't work. Alright, what about 2 and 12? Because I see down here 2 and 12 are factors. Well, one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. I'm just going to put a plus or minus, meaning one is. But either way I combine them. If it was positive 2 and negative 12, I don't get negative 5. If it's negative 2 and positive 12, I do not get negative 5. So that doesn't work. Look down, I got 3 and 8. 3 and 8 sounds good. 3 times 8 is positive 24, so I got to make one of them negative. If I make the right one negative, maybe I get negative 5 out. So if I make 3 negative, negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. Negative 3 plus 8 is a positive 5. Alright, well, what if I do positive 3 times a negative 8? That's a negative 24. And if I add them up, positive 3 plus a negative 8, it equals negative 5. So those are my factors. Plus 3 minus 8. I'm going to double check using FOIL, or if you want to use your table method, you can use that, the box method. So first, outside, so it's going to be x squared minus 8x, inside last, plus 3x minus 24. I like that minus 24. That looks like it's going to match up. X squared minus 5x minus 24. I got that. That checks. Box. We're good. Those are factors. These are binomial factors of this quadratic trinomial. So let's try number 7. Number 7, a squared minus a minus 20. Well, I'm going to start out the same way. My a is going to go there, and a is going to go there. I'm going to use my product sum chart. So, factors of that last number, that constant term, negative 20, that add to the middle term. So that middle term, minus a, I can really put a 1 there, right? Little invisible 1. It's minus a single a. So that term is negative 1 right there. That's the only trick in number 7. So that b value is negative 1. So factors of negative 20 that add to negative 1. If we're unsure, maybe we get our chart out. Well, I got 20 times 1. 1 times 20 is 20. I can make one of them negative to get negative 20. But it wouldn't give me negative 1. 2 and 10. We can write these down. So 1 and 20 plus or minus. Because I know I got to make one of them to get negative 20. One of them's got to be negative. But even if I add either pair, I don't get negative 1. What about 2 and 10? Plus or minus, plus or minus. I just put that plus or minus instead of writing two different pairs. Like we did up here. Negative 1 and 24, positive 1 and negative 24. We could have wrote that plus or minus 1, plus or minus 24. So if I added those together, no. Negative 2 plus 10 doesn't give me negative 20. Positive 2 plus a negative 10 doesn't give it to me. 4 and 5. I see 4 and 5. So if I make one of them negative, I'm going to make the 5 negative. I'll try it. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. 4 plus negative 5. Do it on your calculator, you get negative 1. So those are my factors. Plus 4, minus 5. We're going to double check that. If I wanted to check that, I'd FOIL it. A squared, outside term, negative 5a, inside, 4 plus 4a, minus 20. Combine our like terms. We get a squared minus a, 5a, negative 5a plus 4a is a minus a, minus 20. That checks. Those are my binomial factors. Number 8. I'm going to have an m and an m. I'm going to use my product sum chart. Factors of 35 that add to negative 12. Factors of the constant term that add to the middle term. So if we want to use our little chart, we could find 35 on here. Right here. Only a couple, so 1 and 35, if I add them together, it's got to be 35, I don't get negative 12. 5 and 7, if I add 5 and 7 together, I get 12, not negative. But I know if I multiply negative 5 times negative 7, I add those together, I get negative 12. So that's my answer. I put minus 5, minus 7. I'm going to check it, saying m squared. Outside term, negative 7m. Inside, minus 5m. Plus 35. Combine my like terms, I get m squared minus 12m plus 35. That checks. Those are my binomial factors. Alright, 2 more problems and you can do the homework. Number 9, b squared plus 2b minus 15. If you want to pause the video and try it and then start it back up. But I know I'm going to have a b and a b. I'm going to use my product sum chart. Factors of negative 15, that constant term, that add to 2. I can use my chart or I can go plus or minus 1, plus or minus 15. That's going to give me negative 15 if I multiply one of them negative, one of them positive. I can't get 2 out of that. What about 3 and 5? 3 times 5 gives me 15. I make one of them negative, I can get negative 15. If I make the negative 3, negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Negative 3 plus 5 is a positive 2. Those are my factors. So minus 3 plus 5. I'm going to check it. I get b squared first. Outside 5b. Inside negative 3b. Last negative 15. I'm going to combine my like terms. I get b squared plus 2b minus 15. Was that the original problem? It checks. So these binomial factors are good. Number 10. I'm going to have a c and a c. I'm going to use my product sum chart, my t chart. So factors of negative 39 that add to 10. So 2 numbers that multiply to negative 39, and then if I add them up to 10. So 1 and 39. Want to look at my paper here. I have 1 and 39. If I added those, no. 3 and 13. You get 10 out of that if I could subtract it, and since this is negative, I kind of will be subtracting. So 3 and 13. One has to be negative though. Which one do I want to make negative to get out a positive 10? I want to make the 3 negative. Negative 3 times 13 is negative 39. Negative 3 plus 13 is 10. Those are my factors. Minus 3 plus 13. We check them. We're going to get c squared plus 13c minus c, 3c minus 39. I'm going to combine my like terms. I get c squared plus 10c minus 39. Same, checks. I'm going to box my binomial factors. So now you know how to factor a quadratic trinomial with a leading coefficient of 1. So, as for your homework,